Clap it. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? My name is Hiro. This is Coding with Strangers, and I want to talk about something. You know, the stock market is a beautiful place to be invested these days because the breadcrumbs of billionaires will definitely turn you into a millionaire. If you want to get invested, no pressure. There's my link. If enough of you talk about this, I promise you, Saturday we can have a Saturday call or a Sunday call, private Discord. We could talk about the stock market. Let's bring it back. Let's make money. But the old saying in the stock market is, if the crumbs of a millionaire will make you, crumbs of a billionaire will make you a millionaire, the crumbs of a millionaire will make you a thousandaire. Is there such thing? I guess yeah. You could be deemed a thousandaire. Why not? Fuck it. And there's just there's this limit that I'm happy that I never felt the need to be more rich. To make money and be comfortable is one thing, but to just be more rich, implying that you're rich, but to be more rich, that's crazy, right? So what happens when one of the richest companies, Microsoft, sitting comfortably at the top of the stock market right now, decides to become more rich with what they got already? Microsoft at some point took on the responsibility of acquiring all of these companies and all of these gaming studios and promising that there wouldn't be a monopoly, which there was, promising that there would be, promising there wouldn't be any closures, and there was. And they did this while being at their best. So what does it mean when a company has to do something like this? And when is like not necessarily enough, because businesses are inherently made, and the way capitalism is designed is to keep making money. But what does that leave for us, the gamers, the users of their product? We lost 3 studios because of greed. How is that going to impact the gaming world, and what does that mean for us? Let's take a look. Microsoft Xbox shutdowns multiple studios, consolidates teams in cost-cutting move. May 7th, Microsoft, MSFT, Xbox is shutting down a number of gaming studios, including Arkane Austin, making the latest publisher to shut down studios, and signs of gaming slowdown. Studios such as Hi-Fi Rush, makers of Tango Gameworks, headquarters in Tokyo, and Canada-based Alpha Dog, will also be closed, and some employees will be laid off. Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, said in a memo that was seen by Reuters on Tuesday. Xbox declined to comment when asked about the number of employees impacted by the layoffs. Growth in personal computing and console gaming is expected to remain below the pre-pandemic levels as gamers record fewer hours of playtime owing to weaker release schedules. Data from research firms Newzoo showed the representation of titles and resources is so that Xbox can invest deeply into the portfolio of games and new intellectual properties, according to Booty. So they're saying that they've done this because of 2 reasons. Because gaming hasn't peaked towards from pre-pandemic levels, which is crazy, because the reason why gaming was so bad is because they didn't have gaming studios working on games. So how does closing more gaming studios help you make more games? Oh, here's the solution. We're going to use these closures to garner IPs that we're going to make, which sounds like a lot more of those half-baked Marvel games, those half-baked Arkham, Kill the Justice League games. Sounds a lot like a lot of these like play to win battle royale pachinko type games where you just scroll to the ends of your days, right? Those don't sound enthralling or enthralling. Or all we need is another Star Wars game. There's literally a Star Wars game that came out to such bad reviews. They took down the marketing for it to save on it because the budget was so bad. All affected studios are units of the ZeniMax Media, which was acquired by Microsoft for $7.5 billion in 2021, and Bethesda. Microsoft Xbox content serves segments reported 62% jump in the third quarter revenue last month, largely driven by Activision Blizzard acquisition. Grand Theft Auto maker Take-Two Interactive said it should shut down 2 subsidiary studios as part of a mass layoff, Bloomberg News report last week. And this is something that is a telltale sign. One thing that we know about these gaming studios, when they're starting or in the middle of a big development for a huge game, they'll make a big push and big effort to get as much talent as possible. And once they're over the hump of development and it's mostly rearing of that game development, and as they're pushing and getting ready to get the game out, for example, GTA 6 is going to come out sometime in the end of 2020, early 2025, or maybe even early 2026, who knows there. But they no longer need to keep the bulk of their studio proprietaries on staff, so they let them go. This is more in line with contract work. It makes sense, and while it's probably not the best thing for the industry, they're going to try and maximize profits, and knowing that they would owe bonuses to people who are contracted underneath them is something they probably don't want to do. So this business take, I get it. Do I approve of it? No, but I get it. Microsoft previously laid off 1,900 employees at Activision Xbox at the start of the year, so not even 5 months ago, and they're closing down that studio. It's crazy. Some making games right now is probably one of the worst things you could do. It's probably one of the worst things you could be doing right now for at least a AAA company. If you're making games for indie, for yourself, or for your own personal, and you're fine publishing it on Steam, perfect. But if you're working under a big label, you got to be terrified, because these industries mimic each other. They mimic each other to a T. Some developers from Arkane Austin will join on other studios and work in the projects across Bethesda, the creators of the Elder Scrolls and Fallout titles. And let's just keep it 100. This is probably not speaking very truth to power. The people they're talking about are upper management. They're not developers. They're going to be they're going to be stakeholders and leaders from previous departments who are just going to be now sharing leadership spaces in these new areas. So I don't see a lot of developer cross happening here. Services of the game for Redfall, made by Arkane, will continue to remain online for players, which is crazy, because if you bought the DLC and all of the props and perks that come with it, and you didn't get your cost for it, what do you do? And you'll probably say to yourself, I mean, what are you owed? You bought the game, they shut the game down. We remember, Microsoft made promises about what they're going to be owed and what you're going to get. Turns out, even then, when they first mentioned it, they didn't care. Microsoft, back in 2021, March 9th, 2021, when this article was dropped, Microsoft completes Bethesda acquisition and promise some Xbox and PC exclusives. In this article, they mentioned how they weren't going to shut down any of these studios. They weren't going to stop developing or stop any of the proceedings for it. And literally 3 years later, they're going back on it. They cried and complained and said that this was stifling innovation when the government tried to stop this monopolization, but then they lobbied them to make it happen. And it's crazy. It's just crazy that these are the same governors and representatives that will say video games are the reason why mass shootings are happening, and it's not because of, gun control. But then when the game companies come to pay them to let them do antitrust and anti-monopolization things, they'll just let it happen. They won't worry about it. It's cool. Everyone's great. No problem. We're all fine here, right? We're all okay with this nonsense. So it's crazy to me that this is the standard that we keep, and we have to find a way of holding these companies liable. We have to find a way of making sure that these companies keep their promises, because they're shutting these companies down for one reason and one reason only, and that's to make money. They want to make sure they maximize their profits at the end of the year or beginning of the next quarter, and to make their shareholders happy. And as I see here, as a person that holds five full shares of them, I'd really, who am I kidding? I've never played an Xbox game. I think the only Xbox game I've ever played was Gears of War. And that's not enough. I think we owe something though to the people who have hundreds of thousands of not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of dollars invested into their gaming from a console aspect, and this is what it's going to be like, and we have to stop this. And I'm just going to give you the precursor to the statement that's going to come in the near future. The numbers of gamers are down now, and the reason why the number of gamers are down now on consoles, the reason why the number of gamers are down on consoles right now is because they're tired of being nickel and dimed to play games. People are making a concerted effort to preserve games that have been lost to the digital realm and things like that. And also, if you really want to get into gaming now, your best bet is to do it online PC, where you have more control over what happens to the game and how the game affects you directly. The console wars, I don't see myself probably ever buying another console, ever. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not going to be DLC'd and nickeled and dimed. I'll wait. Like, whenever a game comes out that I like now, I just wait till the Master Edition comes out and I buy that, or the final parent or whatever edition comes out, and I'll buy that one. And you can usually get it for the price of the original sale if you wait like a few months later. You never played the original Halo 1 or 2? Never played Halo 1 or 2? Never. And I was saying this the other day I was talking to Grimy about, like, oh, should I start gaming like on Saturdays or Fridays and just play games that I've never played before? And and he thought it would be a great idea. I've never played a Zelda game. I've never played any of those Link games. None of that stuff. So maybe I'll think about that. But I'm curious to know what you think. Like, when is enough? Like, how much money is too much? Who am I kidding? It's capitalism. It's never enough. It's America, baby. It's as apple pie. Making money is as apple pie as baseball. You feel me?